How effective is U.S. M60A2 Starship unveiled? The M60A2 is a variation of the M60 Patton main battle tank that was designed as a force multiplier for troops that operated M60A1s. Because of its advanced technology, it was dubbed Starship. Want to know more? Hey guys, welcome to our channel Alpha Tanks, where we tell you about military tanks, from the most famous World War II battle tanks to the most advanced battle tanks at present. But before we proceed, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our incredible videos in the future. And let's get started! There was some debate about the future of main tank weaponry in the early 1960s, with a focus primarily on conventional kinetic energy rounds versus missiles. In the early 1960s, it was widely assumed that the M68 gun's maximum effective range was between 1,800 and 2,000 meters. The XM13 missile system had proven to be effective, with over 90% first-round accuracy up to 4,000 meters. However, having too many design concepts slowed the development of a main combat tank type. In response, in August 1961, research was conducted to modify existing M60 tanks with a cannon capable of shooting both conventional high-explosive anti-tank rounds, or HEAT rounds, as well as launching ATGMs, or anti-tank guided missiles. 3 M60E1 tanks with T95 turrets were modified to accept the 152mm XM81 gun launcher. They were to be mounted on decommissioned M60 hulls and used as test beds for the Shillelagh weapon system. Although this was the preferred armament for the MBT-70, issues with the XM13 missile forced the program to be redesigned by late 1961. The missile was categorized as an applied research project, and it was clear that it would be some time before it was ready for deployment. Representatives from various ordnance groups convened on January 10, 1962 at the Ordnance Tank Automotive Center to discuss armament systems that would be appropriate substitutes if the Shillelagh missile could not be built in time. Time was especially tight for the Armored Reconnaissance Airborne Assault Vehicle, which needed an armament selection by April 1962. Because the MBT-70 program was limited to conceptual design and component development, the potential delay was not as severe. The tank's requirements were also different due to its capacity to carry a significantly bigger armament system. Several backup weapons were also considered, and concept studies demonstrating their application to the MBT-70 designs were developed. The 152mm gun launcher XM81 was also explored without the missile, relying just on traditional combustible ammunition. It was thought that the Shillelagh or another missile would be introduced later. The M68 105mm cannon, as standard for the M60 tank, was examined as an alternative armament system. It had the benefit of being instantly available, and its ammo was already being manufactured. The driver in-turret integrated fighting compartment was one of the first turrets designed. The MBT-70 was used to further refine this design. Another idea was to make the T95E7's turret more compact. As a result, the gunner and loader were essentially separated from one another, with Shillelagh missiles in their storage positions separating them. The commander was in the rear compartment behind a massively modified cupola that offset the turret's low profile. Using the same modification kit as the M60A1 AOS, the M162 cannon was fully stabilized in both turret traverse and gun elevation, allowing the gunner to efficiently observe the battlefield while the tank was in motion. The gunner could utilize this system while the tank was moving to engage targets with unguided M409 rounds, but the tank had to remain stationary when firing and tracking an MGM-51 missile. The turret interior also received Kevlar spall liners. On either side of the turret bustle, 4 M226 smoke grenade launchers were placed. There was also a mounting place on the left side of the turret for an AN VSS-1 V1 infrared spotlight and an M19E1 IR periscope, which provided first-generation night vision for night operations. When not in use, the spotlight stored in a basket attached to the rear of the turret. The bore evacuator was replaced in later manufacturing versions with a closed-bore scavenger system, a compressed air system that forced fumes and gases out of the muzzle when the breech was opened. M60A2s in initial production utilized the M60A1 hull, an AVDS 1792A TLAC engine, the CD855 cross-drive transmission, and the T97 track assembly. Many of these hulls were later updated to RISE specifications. Ford's Aerospace Division created the M51 missile guidance system for the Shillelagh missiles. The M51 MGS was equipped with an infrared direct beam guidance and control system to track the missile, which was then attached to the turret over the gun's mantle with a telescopic sight and a Raytheon ANWG-1 flash lamp pumped ruby laser rangefinder accurate to 4,000 meters for the gunner. The gunner fired the missile after aiming the crosshairs in his direct telescopic sight at the target. Following the acquisition of a target, a tiny charge would drive the missile out of the barrel. The Shillelagh was fired when the missile's solid fuel sustainer rocket ignited. The gunner has to keep the crosshairs focused on the target throughout the missile's flight. In the gunner's sight, a direct infrared beam missile tracker detected any deviation of the flight path from the line of sight to the target and communicated corrective signals to the missile through an infrared command connection. Flip-out fins stabilized the MGM-51A, which was operated by hot gas jet reaction controls. The gunner also used an M219 to the right of the gun mantle with 2,000 rounds. The commander's cupola was rebuilt, resulting in the M85 being installed inverted to allow access to its feed cover and a single M34 periscope containing 600 rounds. The combat load for the M162 main cannon of the M60A2 was 33 M409 rounds and 13 MGM-51 Shillelagh missiles. The weapon system had a number of flaws. To begin, the gunner had to retain the target in the crosshairs of the sight for the duration of the missile's flight. This meant that only one target could be monitored and engaged at a time. Furthermore, the M60A2 was incapable of firing or tracking a missile while in motion. It was also found that structural flaws in the barrel formed after a number of missile launches. This problem was traced back to a fault in the missile's longitudinal key, which was designed to fit into a keyway inside the gun barrel. It was established that a shallower key would greatly extend the barrel's service life. The missile control system was also extremely delicate due to its reliance on vacuum tubes, which frequently broke when firing the gun. Finally, a Shillelagh missile cost far more than an M409 round. The vehicle was one of the most technologically advanced of its day, earning it the unofficial nickname Starship. This also played a role in its demise, owing to issues with maintenance, training, and complicated operation. The M60A2 was a letdown, despite the fact that its technological breakthroughs would pave the path for future tanks. And that's it for today, guys. We sincerely hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please click on the like button and share it with your friends and family. If you have any questions or comments, please share them with us in the comment space below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see even more of our incredible videos. You can also check out our other videos that have been specially selected just for you. Hey, thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you in the next video.